Carlos King didn't whisper, hint, or sugarcoat anything. What he sent toward Martell Holt hit with the force of a man who had finally reached his breaking point. A man watching his own creation slip into chaos and deciding it was time to remind everyone who truly built the throne they stand on. And Martell never saw it coming. Not this direct, not this bold, not this public. Reality TV is known for being messy and unpredictable. But no one expected Carlos King, the mastermind behind Love and Marriage, Huntsville, to step out from behind the scenes and confront the very star he once protected. Yet this moment didn't begin with a reunion, a fight, or a court hearing. This wake-up call was years in the making, stretching back to when Martell was still the polished businessman with a perfect smile. The charismatic husband who helped pitch the show alongside Melody. Back then, Martell wasn't just part of the series, he was one of the reasons it existed. He knew how to command attention, stir up just the right amount of drama, and make himself central to every scene. But success exposes the cracks people try to hide, and soon Martell's picture-perfect image deteriorated. The affair, the lies, the breakdown of his marriage, the public unraveling all became part of the show's foundation. While Melody rebuilt herself, Martell sank deeper into the chaos he created. Carlos saw every moment and initially tried to guide him quietly, hoping to keep him from self-destructing. But Martell kept choosing conflict over accountability, and eventually, Carlos' patience ran out. Behind the scenes, subtle changes began. Camera time shifted. Confessionals focused elsewhere, new storylines grew stronger, and Martell's presence slowly faded. Still, Martell walked onto set with the same confidence, unaware that the spotlight no longer revolved around him. Then came the turning point. A reunion taping scheduled on the same day as Martell's court hearing. Forced to choose between legal responsibility and the show, Martell chose the cameras. He skipped court, assuming the show needed him. Carlos didn't defend him, didn't cover for him, and didn't spin the story. He let the fallout hit publicly. Social media dragged Martell, cast members reacted with shock or amusement, and even longtime supporters stepped back. Carlos stayed silence that screamed louder than any speech. But the real message came at the reunion when Martell entered, expecting to be the main attraction, only to find the energy completely shifted. Melody stood strong and unbothered. The Scotts stepped into their roles confidently. Kimmy and Maurice carried their usual calm, and even Miss Wanda sensed the shift. Everyone had found their lane except Martell. Then Carlos delivered the moment that froze the room. He looked Martell directly in the eyes and said, "You need to get yourself together." One sentence, sharp, direct, final. Martell had never been spoken to like that, not by Carlos, not publicly, not in front of the cast. It wasn't just a warning. It was a declaration that the show would continue with or without him. After the reunion, Martell tried to repair his image. Online motivational quotes, pictures with his kids, business posts, but fans weren't convinced. They saw desperation where he tried to show strength, and excuses where he tried to show confidence. Meanwhile, the show continued smoothly. Melody's growth storyline flourished. The couple stepped into new layers of drama. New dynamics formed, and the season proved the series no longer relied on Martell's chaos. And Martell felt that shift in every episode, every edit, every comment, every silence. Beneath the ego and the mistakes, Martell is still human, a man who made choices that cost him his marriage, his reputation, and now his place in the show. Carlos didn't destroy him. He warned him, and warnings are given only to people who still have a chance to change. As a new season unfolds, Huntsville feels different. Alliances shift, wounds reopen, and Martell stands at a crossroads, not the king, not the center, but still part of the story if he chooses to rise instead of spiral. One path leads back into the chaos that nearly ruined him. The other leads toward growth and redemption. Only Martell can decide which road he takes. But one thing is clear. Carlos King has spoken. His message was loud, the warning was real. And the wake-up call will echo through Love and Marriage, Huntsville, for a long time. The show is moving forward, the cast is evolving, and Martell's future depends entirely on what he does next. Martell now faces a moment of truth that few reality stars ever get, a chance to redefine himself. Without the safety net of old fame or the chaos that once protected him, every scene he enters, every word he speaks, every social media post he shares is now under scrutiny, not just by fans, but by the cast, the producers, and most importantly, by himself. The power he once thought was his, by default, has been stripped away. And for the first time, he has to prove that he can stand on his own merit. Meanwhile, the other cast members are stepping into the spotlight with newfound confidence. Melody is no longer just a counterpart to Martell's drama. She's a force of her own, commanding storylines that showcase her growth, resilience, and intelligence. Marcel and Tisha are seizing opportunities to define themselves beyond past narratives. Even Miss Wanda and Kimmy are navigating the new energy with authority, ensuring that every angle of the show is balanced and that no one person dominates. As for Martell, the world is watching to see if he will rise or crumble. The wake-up call from Carlos King was not just a personal reprimand. It was a statement to the entire cast and audience. No one is bigger than the show. The next steps he takes will define whether he becomes a cautionary tale or a story of redemption. Every misstep will be magnified, but every positive change will be celebrated. It's a high-stakes crossroads where every choice has consequences, and the luxury of ego-driven behavior has vanished. Behind the scenes, producers are quietly shaping the season to highlight new stories, testing Martell's adaptability and his willingness to grow. This is no longer a platform that bends to his will. The episodes now showcase teamwork, resilience, and real growth, proving to viewers that love and marriage, Huntsville is bigger than any single cast member. Martell may still have influence, but it is no longer absolute. He has to earn his relevance all over again. The social media chatter reflects this shift. Fans are noticing the absence of his dominance, the rise of other personalities, and the subtle evolution of the show's narrative. And so, the stage is set. Martell stands in the eye of the storm he once controlled, surrounded by a cast who knows their own worth, a show that continues to thrive without him at the center, and an audience waiting to see if he will rise to the occasion or be consumed by the chaos he created. Every reunion, every confession, every camera angle now carries weight he has never felt before. It's no longer about being the star, it's about proving he belongs. Only time will tell if Martell Holt can learn from the wake-up call, transform himself, and reclaim his place in the story, or if this season will mark the final chapter of his dominance. The message from Carlos King still echoes. The show goes on with or without him, and every choice he makes from here on will determine the legacy he leaves behind. Now, every move Martell makes is under a microscope. His relationships with the cast, his interactions with the production team, even the way he presents himself in public, all of it is being measured against the wake-up call he received. The reality is clear. His old tactics won't work anymore. The charm, the bravado, the attempts to dominate scenes or manipulate storylines, those strategies no longer guarantee success. The show has evolved, the cast has evolved, and the audience has evolved. Martell is no longer the center of the universe. He has to fight for his place, and that fight is as much internal as it is external. Meanwhile,